are. Welcome to all new episode of the Cover 3 podcast. We have our special friend Mike filling in for Sterling Bennett, who's currently out on assignment with his family. And, of course, we have Aaron of 49ers First Takes. Aaron, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Dude, just hype for Saturday. Big Saturday. A lot's going to go down on Saturday. And a lot of it will depict on, will the Niners get the number 1 seed? We got 49er Throwback saying, how is it going, Aaron? Doesn't care about Mike and I. Get it. My good buddy Fear Jason's there saying, let's go, Happy New Year. Same with 49er Throwback as well. It's a great guy, great follow. What's cracking, fellas? Happy New Year from David McNiner.
Happy New
He also
Year,
has a
guys.
channel himself, so definitely check that out. But this Saturday has a lot riding on it. I mean, it's essentially the playoffs start this Saturday. If the Niners win this game, obviously win or lose, they're in the playoffs, but they win this game, they get the number 1 seed, and they get home field advantage throughout the Super Bowl, which is absolutely insane. Crazy.
Insane.
But think about the amount of confidence that's going to give a team going into the playoffs, knowing that they don't ever have to leave ever again. They don't have to leave for the next, 7 weeks, if you count last week, which is crazy in itself. So we're going to talk about that matchup between the Seahawks and the Niners. It's a big matchup. We're also going to talk about the game that went down last week, the Niners and the Bears, because there's a lot to break down over that. And then also we're going to talk about some injuries, news, updates, all that shit coming out of Ninerland. It's going to be an action-packed show, and I'm glad all you guys are here to watch it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow all of our channels, which is Dre Area Sports, 49ers First Takes, and Mike, you're on TikTok, right?
Yes, I'm at Fourth and Gold on TikTok, also on YouTube here at SF Gold Rush. So check it out. Appreciate
Check it out. Let's check it out. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But before we get to any of that, guys, I'm gonna kind of throw us off a little bit. I got breaking news, and that is this: MTV has officially shut down its 24-hour music channels yesterday.
Yeah,
End of an era. No more MTV. Well, I guess the regular channel will still be there, but not the what the hell happened here? Not the 24-hour channels, which I don't even know that those still even existed. But no more MTV. And guys, really, who the fuck still watches it? It's ridiculousness every time I turn that on. So, I mean, look.
I think MTV died like 25 years ago, I think.
It really did. It absolutely did. But look, at the end of the day, we all grew up with MTV. Obviously, when we were younger, it was a much more prevalent presence within pop culture and I guess you could say social media. It didn't really exist back then. But, Aaron, how do you feel about no more MTV?
Dude, I haven't watched music videos in like 20 some odd years. I'm old too, man. I'm 46. It's funny. I remember MTV right before we started getting reality TV. Them and VH1.
Yeah,
and it was
the first
just
ones.
It was a different era. It was like that. It was like the end of the 80s, but it was still had that 80s feel to it.
Yeah,
and then you started getting all this other crap besides music videos.
Well, but that's what started it, was the reality shows, and then it went on to a whole bunch of other garbage, and then they had like Laguna Hills and all that shit, and it just spiraled out of control.
Pretty crazy, man. It's over with.
End of an era.
You know what else ended last night?
What's that?
Stranger Things.
You know what? I haven't even watched that show.
I will not spoil it. It was a bittersweet ending. I watched it. It was which it takes place in the 80s, which when the Niners were last dominant. So it kind of had this really weird, like, nostalgia feel for anybody whoever grew up through the 80s, which I did, and maybe not as old as the characters in the show, but like just seeing stuff that I don't know how they find stuff that existed back then, or they're able to recreate it. But I love the show, and it sucks that it's over. But all the characters are like 25 now, so can't really do anything about it.
And then the Niners just dropped that Stranger Things little video, right, for the games Saturday.
Very smart. Very smart. Everybody's like, what are they talking about the Niners?
Mike, are you on the right mic? Just double check, because it sounds kind of echoey. I thought maybe you're on the webcam mic.
Nope. Should I be? Do I sound all right? No?
You sound fine. I last time it sounded a little different. I should have told you this before the show, not on the show, but I apologize. Okay, so
Yeah, okay.
look, we know things are coming up on Saturday, but I want to talk about last week's game because we hadn't had a chance to talk about that because we didn't do a show last week because it was Christmas and we said fuck that. But let's talk about the game. I mean, that was one of the best games of the year, not only for the Niners, the Bears, but for the NFL. And when you look at the numbers say a lot about this game. Brock Purdy was 24 of 33 for 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, did have the interception that was late in the game. He also had a fumble, too, that was recovered by Luke Farrell. That was kind of crazy. But had a quarterback rating of 118.6. Guys, Brock Purdy looked absolutely dominant. He basically shattered any kind of thought that Mac Jones should have been the starter. Even a lot of the guys who were saying that he should be the starter all said Brock Purdy absolutely dominated. Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Mac Jones, taking nothing away from Mac Jones. I love Mac Jones. But the way Brock played against the Bears and against the Colts, I mean, he's playing at just an entirely different level than some of these other quarterbacks in the league. Mike, what did you think about Brock Purdy's performance last week?
Glock Purdy played outstanding. Obviously, that first read that he did to Juwan, I think that was probably a bad throw. Looked like Juwan got out of that break a little slow. I wouldn't have targeted Johnson right off the bat if you're going to go after their number one QB. But all that said, Brock looked confident. He knew exactly where he was going with the ball. And he just had that swag, and I think he's the best version of Brock Purdy that we've seen so far. And people can say, "Oh, the Bears defense is not the best," and yeah, but you know what? He was able to score touchdowns at will. So he was missing Trent Williams. You're missing Kittle. Your wide receivers are C average at best.
Yeah,
and you're able to throw points like that at will. I mean, that's Glock Purdy, baby.
Aaron, what did you think about Brock Purdy's performance against the Chicago Bears?
So earlier in the season, when Mac was doing his thing, I remember Sterling standing firm that Brock is the better quarterback and he'll prove it. Essentially, that's what he said. He didn't say it in those words. And I know me and you were of the mindset of like, hey, if we're winning, keep the train going, right? And if Brock's going to come back, he has to be the healthiest. He came back, looked a little shaky at first, and just people are lying if they don't say that their mind went there with Mac Jones.
Absolutely.
And I went there. I went down that rabbit hole, but I don't think I ever got to the point where I was like, yeah, let's trade Brock and get picks and blah blah blah, and people really going off the deep end, of course. And then every other show is saying that there's a quarterback controversy. Well, he put that thing to bed like 2 games in a row. And even if you think about it, he played well against the Cardinals, even though he almost threw a couple picks in that game, his first game back. I mean, the offense is completely different with him. It just has a different feel. Is accurate and has quick with the ball that Mac Jones is. There's that element of Brock Purdy that is just the ability to scramble, the ability to take a play that's dead and kind of turn it into something. Nothing more than the touchdown, scramble, Russell Wilson, freaking Patrick Mahomes light, whatever you want to call him. Dude, I'm more impressed with him now in 2025 than I think I've been impressed with him since he's been the quarterback, just because of everything that's happened and like the doubters, including myself, maybe. So I'm through the moon.
Mike, you already talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
agree with
something else.
Brock looked great, and you know what? He's healthy. I think that's the biggest thing you can take away, right?
The turf toe seems to be the toe is a thing of the past right now. He's absolutely carrying this team. He's running the offense to its maximum efficiency. Like what Aaron was saying, the scramble he did where he ended up throwing it to Juszczyk for a touchdown. I mean, that's a play you see made by Mahomes or a Russell Wilson in his prime. And like you can't replicate that from a lot of other quarterbacks. Like Sam Darnold can't do that. Sam Darnold would have threw the ball away or he would have got sacked.
Yep.
I mean, that's just fact of the matter. So the fact that he was able to do that and play at such a high level is crazy. And not only that, but I mean, he was doing it without Trent Williams, without George Kittle. Obviously, no Brandon Ayuk. We'll never see him again, and he still got it done. It's absolutely insane what this guy is doing. And back-to-back weeks, he's had completely dominant games against two teams that were going to be hard teams for San Francisco to match up against. Now, obviously, when we move forward, the Seahawks are going to be a different kind of beast. But one of the things that I wanted to cover about the Bears game was the Niners defense. It was like butter. It just couldn't stop anybody. They forced some 3-and-outs here and there, but not nearly enough to give the Niners offense a bump. So let me ask you, Aaron, are you confident that this Niners defense can get this team to the Super Bowl?
Not a bit. Me and Mike pretty much said it the other day that it's going to be the Niners offense that's going to have to carry him. I remember you saying, Aaron, the defense is what it is. Accept it. Stop complaining about it. And I kind of came to that epiphany myself watching the game. I was like, Dre's right. These guys suck ass, man.
Yeah, I was like, this defense sucks ass.
Me complaining and telling everybody that the only thing that I'm being super sarcastic about it, is you guys, you and Sterling saying, Aaron, their defense is bend but don't break. And I'm like, oh my God, they're so not that. Like, that means you get maybe one turnover or maybe two crucial stops. So it's not a shootout to where you only win by like 4 points. Like if we were winning like 40 to like 28, then I could say, okay, bend but don't break, right?
Bend but don't break, yeah.
This is literally breaking every play. They did bend. They didn't do anything.
Yes,
they didn't do anything. And somebody made a good point. Like they've gotten worse on defense. That's why when I say getting fat on tomato teams and Sterling's like, what are you calling teams tomato cans? I'm like, I'm just telling you, like it was a great win and we're winning 20-10 against like the Panthers. But I'm like, I need to see this. And me and Mike have talked about this, about projecting the Niners forward. Like if they're struggling with things with a team that has a quarterback that's been retired for 5 years and who can't move, or a guy like, the quarterback of Titans, his name is escaping me, who hasn't done jack crap all year. And the Niners in 2 weeks made both of those guys look like quarterbacks that actually have a chance to compete in the league. So that's the scary part. And the other scary part is, Dre, is like, what if the offense has an off day? And instead of scoring 40, they scored 27.
Well, I mean, you're going against the number 12 defense in the Bears last week. Now you're going against, I believe it's the number one. No, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong stat.
Number one, number two, number one.
They are the DVOA as a team, right?
Total defense. They are the number 6 ranked defense in the league, but they're really good. They also have the number 1 third down defense in the league. Niners are the number 2 third down offense in the league. So that's going to be interesting, too, is that can they get them off the field? Because, well, that's been a point of emphasis for the Niners is they extend drives, especially on third down. So if the Seahawks can prevent that from happening on a consistent basis, could be a long day for San Francisco, but we'll cover that in just a minute. But before we get to anything else, look, we talked about the Bears game. McCaffrey, 140 yards rushing. The guy continues to impress. Hasn't shown that he's lost a beat whatsoever. I know that was a talk of the town for a while, but look, 23 carries for 140 yards, averaging 6.1 a carry. He's had back-to-back games where he's been averaging more than 3.4 a carry. He's looked good in 2 weeks in a row. Obviously, we're going against the Seahawks. That's probably going to change, but right now the offensive line is playing really, really good and opening up holes for Christian McCaffrey and even for Brian Robinson at that, who rushed for 22 yards. Guys, how do you feel about McCaffrey? I mean, like at this point, I don't know what we do without him. Mike, without McCaffrey, he's like the silver bullet to every team we're going against.
Absolutely. And, he was the one who was moving the chains against Seattle the first time we played them as well. And, for him to average what he played with last game without Trent Williams and without George Kittle helping the block as well is pretty impressive. So that just shows you the offensive line has stepped up. They are playing a lot better. I'm worried that, Seattle's now going to have tape on Pleasance, and they might be able to find, ways to attack him a lot better than the Bears were. But still, CMC is the ultimate ace up the sleeve, and he's the MVP of the team, hands down. So he has to be featured a lot and heavy again. And, Brian Robinson also played pretty decent against Seattle last time too. So I hope they go after Seattle. I know they have a really good run defense, but, CMC and Brian Robinson, they have to attack that team drastically, and hopefully Brock can get them going in the passing game, because he can be the security blanket, for them on these quick rushes if the O-line can't hold up, especially with Trent not there.
Another guy that really stepped up was Jake Tonges. And Aaron, I wanted to ask you, get your thoughts on that. Jake Tonges, 7 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Has this team become a dual threat tight end team where you got Tonges and George Kittle? Should we see more 2 tight end sets? What do you think about Tonges on Sunday?
It's hard for me to understand whether it's Kyle kind of scheming him open, or is it Brock just seeing the whole field? And maybe he has learned a thing or two about being a tight end from George Kittle. So I don't really know. That would be great if they had another threat, because that's just another weapon that Brock can throw to, that he has confidence in. They went to him quite often. There was that one throw that he made, I think it was to him, that was like super dangerous over the middle, and Brock needled it in there, and Ton just caught it. Awesome. I'm totally stoked for if that's the case. Because remember, we went in, it seems like every year we go into the draft and we always are like, oh, we got to get another tight end to help Kittle. Yeah. And we did it a couple years ago, and we drafted 2 turds in the draft, right?
Well, like Cam Latu, that guy's terrible.
Yeah, and it's.
Doesn't he play fullback now for the Commanders or something, or one of these teams?
He plays cashier for the Washington
Target.
Burger King. I don't know. What's up, Chris? Happy New Year to you as well. Okay, so let's move on to our next segment. Obviously, look, we know the Niners did a really good job against the Chicago Bears. That last play, last play of the game, oh my God. I was on the edge of my seat. And for a minute there, especially when Bryce Huff couldn't take him down, I thought, oh no, it's going to happen. And then what happened? Gross Matos came running in, and the pass was incomplete. That was absolutely a crazy way to end that game. What did you guys think about the ending to the Bears-Niner game?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the defense that stopped them from scoring, right? It was the clock. So,
it was the clock, but the defense played good on that last play. They dropped all their linemen back in coverage, and that completely threw off Caleb Williams. He was like, oh, shit. And then here goes Bryce Huff, and he was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So that's caused a lot of chaos.
If they had one more play to go, I think they probably would have got in on the very next play.
They just ran up the middle for a touchdown.
Good throw. Where we were watching the game, we were at a sports bar, and I couldn't really see that the ball hit the ground when the
Me neither.
I thought he caught it. I was like, oh
yeah, I thought he'd go for it and caught it, and I was like, come on, dude. But then I saw the Niner players celebrating, and I'm like, all right, cool. But he was still open, even though they had all those people in coverage, right? Like if that ball flew another 2 feet, that's a touchdown. But that last play was very exhilarating. But that's like what I love, though. Like you hate it for it to come down to the last play, but then as a sports fan, like that's what gives you that endorphin rush, right? Like that, like, oh man, sports is awesome. Yeah. And that's what kind of reminds me, like, yeah, this defense is really bad. It's gonna give us, heartbreak and gray hairs and stuff, but this offense can put up points too. So you take the bad with the good, and it's what's gonna make for heart complications and fun endings to games that make you realize, like, hey, sports is pretty awesome.
Aaron, that last play.
Thanks, Tom.
What was going through your mind on that last play?
Well, as you know, in Sterling, I watch games muted, okay? Because I can't stand commentary nowadays. And so, of course, I'm only seeing, and I sit far, and I don't have the biggest 4K TV in my room. It's probably like a 28 or 32 inch, even though I'm sitting right in front of it. I thought he caught it. And I'm just like, wow, dude. But then I hear my brother in the other room go, ha ha. And he comes knocking on my door. And I'm like, oh, he did? He didn't? Oh, I guess he didn't catch. So that's kind of how I found out.
We actually have footage of Aaron watching that in mute. Here it is right here.
That's actually, you know what's funny about
emotionless.
that? You know what's funny about that? That's exactly me watching games. I don't really show a ton of emotion. It's a little bit of
opposite. I'm fucking screaming, yelling at my kids.
I'm a little bit like a serial killer when I watch games. Like I'm almost
like that
too
video.
quiet.
That video, yeah.
Like, Aaron, you okay, dude? You have a pulse? Like, what's going on over here? No, I used to flip out watching games to the point where I used to break things.
Yeah,
and
when I was a kid, I used to cry. Now I'm just
so did I.
And
the 90 championship game where we lost to the Giants, 91. I cried my eyes out after that game.
Yeah,
so, I've been there.
Cowboys, Packers, losing to them.
The 96 playoffs where we had, or the 97 season where we had home field advantage, I think. It was a money game in San Francisco, and the Packers came and we lost that game. I cried after the game. My dad's like, really? He's like, Aaron, they still get paid. You can't care more than the players. And I was like,
I hate the Packers.
They had a chance. And he's like, my dad never liked sports for that reason. I think it's because of just how like womanly I used to act when I watched sports.
Okay, real quick. Aztec is flipping out. Yes, Niners should not win this game. It's the D, which is the Achilles heel. That is the mentality going in. 49ers got to manufacture pass.
He's right.
Pressure and hits on. Yeah, I agree with you, but who's going to do it? And Keon White's going to help. It's just a lot of dudes just rushing the quarterback with no. It seems like it's a lot of bull rushing. Just
no plan.
And nobody gets through. You know, Bryce Huff he's better if he's like a third down pass rusher, but he's not. He's got to be out there almost every down because they're just that shallow at the defensive line. So that's going to hurt. But as we move forward in the show, we're now going to break for where is it? Oh, man. I jacked this all up. There it is. Well, we're going to break for our SeatGeek injury report. Use promo code DreAreaSports to save up to $20 on your first purchase over at SeatGeek.com. Use promo code 49ers Access to save an additional $20 on your first purchase over at SeatGeek.com. Okay, so let's go with some of the troubling news, and that is, I took it off. Right here, Trent Williams is not practicing for the third straight day. I know that he's been saying that he's going to give it his all to try and get out there and play. If you ask me, I don't think he's going to play. I think Austin Pleasance is going to go out there again because he's too valuable. So let's say you go out there and you re-aggravate that hamstring, then he's out for multiple weeks. That's going to be more devastating. You're in the playoffs already. I personally, I just don't see Trent playing this game. As much as I want him to be there, I don't see him playing. Aaron, do you think Trent Williams will come through and play?
I mean, they win or they lose. They're both, they're in the playoffs regardless. And if they could get the bye, which I never believed they could ever get, it would be perfect. I still can't believe that he got hurt in that play. When you watch in slow motion, like what happened?
The very first play of the game too was like,
like what hurt him though? Like he was already jogging. How do you get injured like that jogging? I don't know. Yeah, don't play him if you don't need to. Pleasance, I don't know. Figure out a way, scheme it up. Help Pleasance out, even though he played well last week.
Pleasance, he's a pretty big guy. I think he's 6'7". He's a big dude, but I mean, Mike, no Trent Williams. Do you think he'll play, or do you think it's going to be the Austin Pleasance tap dance?
Yeah, Austin's coming in for sure. They're not going to risk Trent. Like you said, they're in the playoffs already. You cannot risk not having Trent Williams in the playoffs, especially, you go against Philly. If we happen to lose this game Saturday, you need to get Trent ready for the playoffs. So it is what it is. Austin played serviceable. I think maybe if Austin looked completely out of his realm, maybe they try to force Trent and be like, hey, kind of like, remember that NFC Championship game against the Rams where he was on pretty much one leg?
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, dude, you got to go in. So I think they're going to make him sit out and just be like, hey, look, we'll live the fight. And Austin was serviceable. Christian averaged, 6 yards a carry or something crazy. Yeah. So just let it ride. It'll be all right.
And this is a case too where, when it comes to Austin Pleasance, I mean, every week Trent gets 1 to 2 vet days where he doesn't even practice. So what does that mean? That Austin Pleasance is practicing with
the reps,
the starting unit. So he's getting the reps. And that's why I think when he went out there, he actually looked good because he's used to playing with them because he gets a lot of reps. Now, when we look at how he did in that game on Sunday, he had 37 He had 37 pass blocking opportunities. He allowed 2 pressures, 1 sack. He had a pass blocking efficiency of 95.9. He had a pass block grade of 58.6 and a run block grade of 74.8. So he did play extremely well for a guy who hasn't even seen the field this season. Now, my fear is that Seattle will say, okay, I don't care what he did last week. We're going to target him and send every blitz and every stunt
his way,
his direction. Yes, he's got Spencer Burford there next to him to help him out, which he's done a really good job since he's been back. I would argue that, since he's come back, the old line has played much better. But Austin Pleasance, in my opinion, is going to start, and he's going to be the target of a lot of the defensive schemes from Seattle. So that has me concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Kittle's coming back too, so, he can help block on the line as well. So hopefully that's a upgrade right there.
Well, I mean, and if you want some more insight on that, let's take a look at what Brian Baldinger said about Austin Pleasance, and let's go to that right now.
So Trent Williams gets hurt on the very first play of the game, and Austin Pleasance come in. And what a pleasant surprise. I mean, no pun. But honestly, the guy's never played. I mean, he's been in this league since 2020 on 6 different practice squads. But Chris Forster is the offensive line coach of the 49ers. He's the best, if not one of the best line coaches in this business. You watch this guy just throw Austin Booker inside. Like, he's got size and he's got strength. He's 6'7", he's 330, and he can bend. His knees bend. He's got good movement. You watch him working with Burford here. Like, watch him push down, all right, and then come up on T.J. Edwards. And there goes Robinson right by him. Watch him. Like, watch him just go foul this play, just knocking people over, just getting in on the pile. Feels good. He's basically been out there just taking a knee at the end of games this year. I mean, 6 different practice squads in 5 years. Undrafted free agent, right, out of Ohio University. Just widening Booker right there so McCaffrey can cut it up. Like, you watch these plays and you're like, game-winning touchdown, right? You got to build the wall. It's a little jet protection here. Here comes Brendel and Burford and Pleasance. Like, watch him just wall this all off right here. That's Grady Jarrett and Austin Booker. Like, can you protect the backside of Brock Purdy any better than that? To whip it and whip it good like that. And then, when McCaffrey ran this touchdown, this might have been his best block of the night. This cutoff block of Grady Jarrett, you got to be able to move to get in a position to do that. Cut off a 3 technique like that. So Run CMC can take it into the end zone. That was a nice night. Good job by Chris Forster again. Excellent job getting Pleasance ready to play. Didn't skip a beat.
And there you have it from Brian Baldinger, one of the best in the game, giving a lot of praise to Austin Pleasance. So is it going to be a challenge for him? I definitely think so. But at the same time, hey, look, it is what it is, and we got to hope that Pleasance can really put it together Saturday on a short week against the Seattle Seahawks. Aztec Right Sea Chickens would use the field as an equalizer, so it's man-to-man to blitz Brock and load up the box on CMC. They're probably going to try to take away CMC, but most teams try to do that, and they absolutely fail. So we'll see how they do. But to kind of transition off of that, looking more at the injury report that we got, here's another one that I want to share with you guys. Let me go ahead and share this. And this is a bit of good news. Keon White returned to practice after missing the first 2 of the week. So Keon White looks like he may be back this Saturday for the Seattle game, we're going to need all the help we can get at this point. And if Keon White can't go, you got to imagine that they're going to elevate probably Robert Beal. Usually whenever anyone goes down, he's the guy that they elevate, and we all know that he's not as effective as we all had hoped. So there's that. We also have this bit of news here. Upton Stout appears to be practicing with no limitations, which is a good sign for his availability for Seattle. I don't care what anyone says. I would rather have Upton Stout out there. I thought that Chase Lucas did a good job, but however, Chase Lucas, he overran some plays. He had some hard time in coverage, but he's coming off the bench. They even tried Chase Lucas on a lot of corner blitzes. He couldn't get home in time. So having Stout back is going to be better for the Niners in pass coverage. So that I'm excited about. I love seeing that he's coming back. And also, George Kittle is back. He's practicing.
Georgie.
He will be out there against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a huge upgrade. Now, look, Jake Tonjes had a great game, but at the same time, Kittle is great in run blocking. Kittle is great in pass blocking, and he's a huge threat as a receiver. Aaron, are you excited to see George Kittle back on the field?
Absolutely. Based on what the offense has been doing the last 2 weeks, one of the weeks he actually played.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Are you serious? Like, Brock's on a heater right now. You got to take advantage of when someone's on a heater. And why not add another weapon to the repertoire? My whole thing is I always get nervous when it's like lower body injuries that you can re-injure them, especially with the ankle. And so that'll be something we say every week, like, man, Kyle, maybe work a guy in, or maybe, give so-and-so some more reps. Kyle doesn't listen to us.
No.
So it's going to be full go. And, and Kittle's never going to complain and bitch about an injury if he can play through it. So, I'm totally excited.
And that he was playing hella good, too, before he went out.
Right. He was sucking it up and playing very well. That black helmet looks unbelievable, by the way.
Oh,
I love it.
I like it. Ponch writes, what's up with Trent? We just talked about that. Thank you for tuning in. He has a hamstring injury that he's trying to fight through. More than likely, it looks like he's not going to play on Saturday, but you never know. The weather for Levi's on Saturday, I believe it's going to be raining in that game. So this could be a game where we're not even really throwing the ball. And again, another prove-it game for Brock Purdy. He's never done well in the rain. Even against the Packers in the divisional round when it rained, he played terrible until the very end. So can Brock overcome that? We'll find out. But it's got me nervous, though, that we're going to have rain on the field when we're playing against the Seattle Sea Chickens. But, Mike, getting George Kittle back, what do you think?
Guys, what's more fun than having George Kittle on a primetime game, right? Like, this guy brings the energy. George Kittle in primetime is the best, and there's nobody that hates the Seattle Seahawks more than George Kittle. So I think you would have had to amputate his leg for him to miss this game, especially with the rivalry jerseys that they're going to be wearing. So I had no doubt in my mind that George Kittle was playing this game. He's going to bring the swagger back to the off. I mean, the offense already has a swagger, but more importantly, he is truly Brock Purdy's ultimate security blanket. And whenever Brock feels like he's got to do something, he gives it to Georgie. And for the number 1 seed, Seattle, primetime game, rivalry jersey, George Kittle. I mean, it's perfect.
Got to be all hands on deck, baby.
All hands on deck. And speaking of which, Christian McCaffrey, with some back stiffness, he's expected to be good to go for Saturday's game in Seattle. I think we all knew he was going to play anyway.
Yeah.
That was more of a precautionary measure to keep him out. So we know that CMC will be effective and out there during the game. And, of course, you have the looming return of none other than Fred Warner. Now, obviously, it's not going to happen on Saturday, but, guys, I mean, if we get the bye week, I don't know, man. I feel like divisional round, he's gonna show up. He's gonna be like, look, I'm ready to come back. And even if it's a rotational piece, just having him out there in uniform, I mean, you can't say no to the guy if he's like, I want to play, I can play. I mean, his intelligence, his command of the defense it's gonna be hard to say no. And this post right here, it says, "I miss it so much." I think somebody posted that, and he responded to it with just no words. Words cannot describe, is what I take from this. A couple of Tylenol, a couple of Advil, and CMC will be good to go. That's why I said the same thing. But guys, I bring this up every week. Where do you guys see Fred Warner? Some say no, he won't come back. Some say yes, he will come back. Some are on the fence. Mike, do you think Fred Warner comes back this postseason?
Yeah, I think the divisional game is a little bit too early, honestly.
Me too.
I would hope so. But I think NFC Championship game, Levi Stadium, it'll probably be against the Rams, right?
I don't know. The Rams just lost the Falcons. Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Either way, if the Niners get the 1 seed, they have to go through the Rams in Seattle again, most likely. So it's going to be against a divisional opponent at home, Levi Stadium, NFC Championship game. Fred wants a Super Bowl so incredibly bad. He just wants to get there again. I know he's like George Kittle, right? Just get me back here, and I'm going to make it happen. So I think NFC Championship game is actually kind of realistic for him to come back. Divisional, I think, is too early. But if he comes back for that NFC Championship game, watch out.
And really, too, it's like John Lynch is not going to ever say, like, you know what, there's a chance he can go back for the – no, he's just going to say, well, you can't hold it. He's going to make it very vague because at the same time, you don't want to put pressure on him to want to come back too early, and you don't want your opponents to know, okay, well, if they make it to the next round, we got to deal with this guy. So think about the how that would affect the Niners getting him back as their middle linebacker. My God, Aaron – he's got to come back, right? It's got to happen.
You've been banging the drum, and me and Sterling have scoffed, or maybe just me. And I'm like, no way, dude. Come on. It's not going to happen. Stop doing that. And now Fred Warner isn't saying no. He's working with the hyperbolic or whatever they call it chamber where you sleep in it and all that stuff. And who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, remember what happened with T.O. in that one Super Bowl where he literally broke his ankle and somehow healed himself enough to play in that game.
Yeah, he had a broken fibula, I want to say, and he played. He played really good, too. I mean, he was probably on all kinds of medication where he couldn't feel it, but he still went out there and balled. That's the game that Donovan McNabb just
I think they had Toradol back then, so they probably some of those painkillers were available back in the day, like Toradol. They were able to shoot people up. I don't think they can do that anymore.
Don't worry, you won't feel a thing. But here we go. Okay, so now we're getting updates courtesy of 49ers Throwback. George Kittle is questionable to play Saturday against Seattle. I mean, it was obvious he was going to be listed as questionable. I think he does play. The guy wants to be out there. I had the wrong one up. 49ers Trent Williams is questionable. We knew that. And Keon White, groin, Upton Stout, Pierce Saul, all questionable for Saturday. No player has been ruled out. I think all three of those guys go. And I think maybe they use Keon White sparingly. If Fred gets the LeBron stuff, he'll be back for sure. HGH. They'll give him something, I'll tell you that. So that's exciting to think about. I still believe that he's going to try and make it back for the divisional round. I really do. But I think NFC title game is much more realistic.
I hope you're right, Dre. I hope you're right.
But if he comes back for the divisional round, that would be like, holy shit. Imagine if we win the number 1 seed, we get the bye week, and then in the divisional round, we get Trent Williams back, and somehow we get Fred Warner back, and we're going against the Carolina Panthers. It's over. We're going to tear them up.
Yeah.
The Panthers.
Well, I would still rest Fred for that if it was the Panthers. I'm like, no. Fred, just wait one more week.
We need you against the Panthers. At this point, this defense will take anything you can get.
Yeah.
Maybe you put Tatum Bethune as a defensive end. Just something. Like, hey, something. Just get him out there. We need more help. Pearsall is always hurt, so no matter what, he's always going to be listed as questionable. We won't get into that. Otherwise, Aaron will talk for the next 45 minutes about the availability of Ricky Pearsall. But going into this game, right, Brock Purdy, we talked about it earlier. Brock Purdy has been absolutely dominating week in and week out. These past 2 weeks, he's looked like the second coming of like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. He's putting up monster stats. So, but let's look at his numbers since his return. So Brock Purdy, the Niners are leading the league in points per game at 35.7 since Purdy's return. Look at these numbers. He's 6-0. He has a 70.7 completion rate, completion percentage, 19 total touchdowns. He has a passer rating of 111.5.
Who's first in that?
In scoring as a team? I don't know.
No, in total TDs.
Yeah, he's second. I don't know. He's second in all these guys, in all of these stats. So someone out there is lighting it up. I'm sure if I think hard enough, I can figure it out. But still, for Brock Purdy to miss that many games and come back, be 6-0, 19 touchdowns. I mean, the guy is playing like an absolute beast. Brock is a fucking beast. I know.
Absolutely.
I agree. And this is what is it Stafford? Maybe, although he threw 2 picks.
Maybe
3 picks
Drake
the other
May,
day.
probably.
Drake May could be. Yeah, it probably is because you look at their schedule. They're playing against like the New York Jets and all these like, just bad teams, and they're lighting it up. So, 49ers Eddie says bang bang Niner game. Maybe that's Eddie Pinero. That'd be pretty cool. For real. So, but look, he's playing out of his mind right now, and you ask yourself how much better can he play, and he's doing it against the Bears and the Colts, who don't have bad defenses. They're not like they're pushovers. And he also did it against the Cleveland Browns, who had the number 2 defense in the league. Now, when he does it against the Titans or the Cardinals, you kind of say, well, those teams suck. But he's been doing it against pretty good teams. Now, when you look at the other side of the field, you look at the quarterback, Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold in the last 8 games, he has 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's averaging 220 yards a game, 29th and 33rd PFF grade, or 29 and 33 PFF grade. And he's 23rd in adjusted EPA per play. Somehow, they are 7-1. Sam Darnold has been completely anemic as the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, granted, he's going against a team that has a really crappy defense. So the Niners are going to have their hands full because this is a guy where if you get pressure on Darnold, he plays terrible. He cannot handle pressure. He's not like Brock, who can evade pressure, move up in the pocket, and run with the football. He just stands there and starts to freak out. But if he does that, if the Niners are able to get pressure on Sam Darnold, they're going to have to do it by bringing the blitz with the linebackers or the corners. That's going to free up open receivers. But look at this. In his first 8 games, he had 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 260 yards per game. First in adjusted EPA.
Fell off the cliff.
Who is he? Which is he?
Which is he? Which Sam Darnold are you going to get? I mean, the last 8 games, he's played terrible. 9 interceptions. Everyone's going to talk about, well, Brock Purdy has a very high interception rate, and he has this season. But the last 3 games, that's not been a factor whatsoever. Sam Darnold, last 8 games, that's been a factor.
Yes.
9 TDs and 9 picks. I mean, come on, man.
You know what's crazy just about the defense is we're not even asking them to be like anything spectacular.
We're not.
These are professional football players. Okay? I know they're backups. Some of them are backups. A lot of them are backups. But you're still a professional. The effort, it is... I don't know, man. Like, even just a little bit better, marginally better, they need to play, and they're just not able to do that. I don't get it. Well, what else is Solid gonna do? Like, he can't miraculously make Bosa and Warner come back, like, you know, some sort of magic stuff. Like, I don't understand how they can't even be marginally better. No one's asking them to be anything better than marginally. A turnover here. A 4th down stop, for crying out loud, you know, like, man, I've been so much on the defense, and then I was kind of like talked off of it. But I was still kind of like, man, we're not playing anybody. We're still giving up stuff. But like, I've been complaining, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it a rest. Yeah. And then I saw Dre go at it on X on the last game, and I was like, okay, now he's finally seeing the light. They suck ass.
They suck ass. Dude. I mean,
it's not even like they kind of suck. it's not even that they, they're up and down. No, they just they don't do anything good. There's no.
You know what it is? It really feels like when it comes to the defense that Salah's like, look, what we're going to do is we're going to play a zone defense, keep everything in front of us, and if they are going to score a touchdown, we got to make sure that they take off like fucking 7 minutes on their drive. And when we get the ball, hopefully we do the same thing. And really, they're just trying to get to third down so they can stop them on third down. But their defense just has not been very good. But surprisingly enough, the Niners have a 19th ranked defense in the league. You would think they'd be like 31st, 32nd, but they're not. They're 19th. The Seahawks, of course, have the number 6 ranked defense in the league. Let me go ahead and bring this up so you guys can see it as well. Here are the Seahawks right here. They have the number 6 ranked. They're allowing 292 yards a game and 31 touchdowns. The Niners, 338.9 yards and 43 touchdowns. Now, another thing, too, is that in the pass defense, Seahawks are number 12 in the league against the pass. The Niners, oh boy, number 25 in the league against the pass. So, again, advantage Seattle. Rushing defense, Seattle's the number 3 ranked rushing defense in the league. The Niners are the number 6 ranked rushing defense in the league. They've actually been very good against the run. They shut down Jonathan Taylor.
The last 2 weeks, they've actually been pretty damn good against the run.
They have been.
But they were getting gouged. That's why the numbers have been, I think the numbers have been deceiving, though, because teams are realizing, wow, they don't have any pass rush ever. We can drop back 50 times. Yeah. I mean, look what happened when we played the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett broke a completion record that I don't know how many years it stood. He went 47 of 57. Almost, they screw the run. Why would we run it on these guys? Yeah. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah, it definitely the numbers for sure on that rushing defense
but they have looked better in the recent weeks. For whatever that's worth.
No, exactly. Their defense, there's a lot of pressure on them to get something done, and it's going to be hard to do that.
Hey, Dre, CJ Gray made a good point in the comments. He said,
I was going to bring it up, but we were talking. Okay. So what bothers me is not the physical ability of the players on defense. It's the consistent mental errors that happen out there. And Robert is supposed to be a great coach, but some errors keep happening. For one, the Tatum Bethune pulling on his face mask. I was like, bro, what are you doing? And they had him stopped on third down, and that gave him a first down, and they scored a touchdown after that. So, yeah, I agree. He also writes, in my opinion, Robert is somewhat reasonable, and he, because of his reputation, is getting a pass. I mean, look, he's doing this without Fred Warner, and he's doing it without Nick Bosa and without Michael Williams. So those were huge cogs in his machine, and they're not available at all. So
yeah, you're right. They're just trying to keep everything in front of them. Like you said, they're trying to make these drives last long to lessen the possessions that they get, right? So it almost looks like they're playing prevent the entire game.
Or I swear to God, he's got a Madden controller in front of him, and he's got 3 plays on the screen. He just keeps selecting the same one.
Yeah, they're just playing prevent defense the entire game. So these teams are just chucking down the field, but like you said, hopefully it takes off a lot of clock. But he can only do what he can because Tatum Bethune doesn't have the experience to make sure everyone's lined up on the right. There's so many mental errors and so many blown coverages. I think it's just the lack of experience, right? Tatum Bethune, and then in the secondary, Jair Brown back there. He'll make one good play on third down, and then he'll give up 2 touchdowns. So
he was getting beat over top. He got beat twice, and once for a big touchdown. So that's one of the fatal flaws of Jair Brown is that he's not fast. And so when he has to guard a burner, they usually run right by him. 49ers Eddie writes, penalties are the worst that Bethune play was foolish or blown coverage. Eliminate the errors. The defense effort will cost the Super Bowl. It really will. And really, when it comes to Seattle, the Niners need to do whatever it takes to try and take away Jackson Smith and Jigba because he's their offense. Without him, it's like, where do I go? And I don't think that Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker are going to be huge difference makers in the run game. It's going to be stop the run, make Sam Darnold have to beat you.
Absolutely, because there's no way that Sam Darnold's going to outplay Caleb Williams. I can't see it happening, especially the way that Sam Darnold's been playing recently. There's no way. As long as we keep Sam Darnold from not being Caleb Williams last week, I think the Niners have a shot, right?
You know what's crazy? And the couple times we got pressure in that game, unbelievable. It worked. Like a guy made a mistake or threw a pass short. Dude, we're so anemic at rushing the passer. And like I'm watching the game and I'm like, I see those plays happen. Like one play here, one play there where they actually get pressured. I'm like, oh my God. Even if they had that like 40% of the time. Yeah. It's frustrating to watch because it's like, that's literally all you need. Get a third, like, and the third down, long third downs, the give up on third and long or fourth down is just like so aggravating. Like, how do you, I mean, like, what's happening to have that happen consistently? That you're giving up third and longs, not like 3rd and 7. They're like 3rd and 15, and they're getting 16 yards like every time. It's
that prevent defense.
To me, I'm not even getting mad anymore because I know it's coming. But yet, when it happens, I'm still pissed.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And you're right. The Niners. See, here's where I am with the Niners, man. I told this to Mike on Monday. I said, "There's a part of me that wants to give in and enjoy the ride." And then there's a part of me that knows that, like, man, if they get into a game with a team that can stop them like twice, they're toast. They're toast.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part. Like, the margin for this team, because their defense is so bad, is so thin. Just
especially without Fred Warner, Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
And like Throwback says, I mean, they're the soul of the defense. So if we can get at least one of them back, that's going to make a huge difference. Ricky writes, Seattle, I don't like to throw the ball to the right, to the left. They like to run them all right up the middle. I got them already numbered already, Seattle. Yeah, so, I mean, they could be fairly predictable. Now look, you have one of the Kubiaks as their offensive coordinator, and I think that Kyle Shanahan's very familiar with his type of offense, so I think that's going to lend to helping Saleh with his game plan. But it could go the other way as well. I mean, Mike McDonald has been very good against Kyle Shanahan offenses. And we saw in week 1, that was a very close game. But at the same time, though, I rewatched the footage on that game, and Jake Moody, thank God that fucking guy's gone. He cost us 6 points in that game. So I watched the game, and I was like, let me pretend that he makes the kick he missed, and he makes the kick that he got blocked. It would have been a 16-10 game. And then at the end, I think it would have been a 16-13 game, and then we scored a touchdown. We would have been up by 10 points. And so it would have changed the complexity of that game.
Absolutely. And it would have changed the way that Kyle called the game, too, because he knew that Jake Moody was done.
Do you guys still get PTSD when Pinheiro comes to kick because of Moody?
No.
I only get nervous when he does extra points because it seems like extra points are really hard for Eddie P. Field goals, he's like, I got this.
Even if he misses one, I'm like, dude, whatever. It's like,
I think extra points, the angle, for some reason, it's off in him. When
he kind of falls as he kicks it, like, But, hey, as long as he makes those kicks, baby, I don't care.
We don't need
great Al Davis said.
Purdy scoring touchdowns now.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like the read option plays that he's been doing because the defenses don't see it coming. They're like, oh, shit. So I love it because we're so run heavy. They think, okay, McCaffrey, watch McCaffrey. And then he does the read option, and it works out great. Sterling's on assignment. He is working on something right now. He will not be here today. He'll be back next week. I am nowhere as nervous with Eddie. Oh, yeah, of course.
No, I agree. I'm just saying I have such PTSD because he was so awful. And I still can't believe that they spent a 3rd-round pick on him. I still can't.
I don't even want to talk about that. Okay, so last thing, or not last thing, but defense, scoring defense. Seahawks are number 2. Niners, I don't know where the hell they're at. They're somewhere around here.
Keep scrolling.
13. But their number 2 defense in scoring, a scoring defense, is the Seahawks. Red zone defense, Seattle is number 7. The Niners, number 15. Okay. But this is where it really gets dicey. Third down defense. Seattle, number 1 in third down defense, which means that they get teams off the field on third down. Look at the number 2 team.
Wow.
I'm telling you right now, I was saying this the other night when I was on with my brother and brother-in-law. I really feel like the Broncos are going to be a surprise team in the playoffs. And this is one stat that makes me think that is that they were also the number 2 team in third down defense.
They got a really good pass rush, too.
They have Jerry Greenlaw, Hufanga, all those guys they have. Yeah. Benito.
Another guy we could have had.
Yeah. So, again, I really feel like the Broncos defense is going to make noise in this playoffs because when you can get teams off the field on third down, that's fucking huge. And look who's after that: the Saints, Texans, Vikings, Chargers, Browns. It's just it doesn't matter at that point. It's like okay, whatever.
What's the Niners on third down defense?
They are number 15, middle of the pack.
Okay, that's not bad.
Now, when we go over to the offensive rankings, we see that the Niners are number 7 in total offense. I remind you, in the past 6 games, they've moved up because they've been playing a lot better. Seattle is number 8, right behind the Niners. Okay, well, I mean but this is cumulative. Okay, this is the whole season, not the past, X amount of weeks, but cumulative. Passing offense, Niners are number 4 in the league. Seattle's number 8 in the league. But if you can limit Smith and Jigba, their options get real thin. You got Shaheed, you have Barnes, their tight end. None of those are household names, so a lot of pressure goes on them. Rushing offense. Seattle is number 16 in rushing offense. The Niners, number 22, we know that. But lately, they've been running the ball really, really effectively. So we'll see if that continues. Scoring offense, Niners are number 8. Seahawks, number 2.
Wow.
Like I said, cumulative. Okay? And, of course, red zone offense. Niners have the number 2 red zone offense in the league with a percentage rate of 66.2, which is a bounce back from last year when they couldn't even score in the red zone, which was like, what is happening? Seattle, number 19. This is here's the thing when it comes to Seattle. They are a very heavy field goal team. They do the things the Niners used to do in the past, which was they constantly put up points, constantly put up field goals. We saw that with Robbie Gould. He would score 9 points a game. And that was one of their game plans is, hey, no matter what, each drive needs to yield something, even if it's 3 points. And I think Kubiak has that same mentality, and that's why you're seeing a lot of field goals, not touchdowns in the red zone. And, of course, third down offense. Niners are number 1 on third down offense at a 51% rate. Now, we talked about this a few minutes ago. The Seahawks, where did I just pass it? Third down, number 1 at 32.4. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Niners match up against the Seahawks. Both of them are the best on third down. So whoever wins third down this game is going to win this game. And
Absolutely.
If Seattle can beat the Niners on third down and limit their scoring, Seattle's going to win this game.
Yep.
So it's a matter of what plays Kyle can scheme up to keep the chains moving. CJ writes, for some strange reason, I think we may play a complete game Saturday, and it just doesn't make any logical sense to why that would be. You never know. Take away Darnold's first read, and he completely short circuits. He does. We feel like this is some kind of strange run, similar to the 2011 Giants, and it quite possibly could be. Are we talking about the New York Giants?
Yeah, they had a crazy defense, though.
But, yeah, they had Michael Strahan. They had Jason Pierre-Paul. They had a bunch of guys on defense, so it was like, okay, well, they can still get a pass rush. And we saw it. They were crushing Tom Brady in that Super Bowl when they were undefeated. It was nuts. But,
yeah, but if Seattle gets the Niners, 3 and out a couple of times, that steals possessions, and then, You know what I mean? Our defense can't stop people from scoring, and I think that could be the difference right there.
What's crazy on that Super Bowl is the Patriots went undefeated that regular season, and the last team that they played was the Giants, and they put up a ton of points on the Giants. I think one of the bigger touchdowns was, I think, to Randy Moss. So, like, you didn't see that defensive, that guy.
That was horrible.
I was at that game, by the way.
You were at that game?
I was there.
My brother has been scolding me. He's like, how can you call yourself a Niners fan? You got to go, like, to the West Coast to watch a game. I will go if I can meet up with a bunch of people. Like, if I can meet one of you guys or two of you guys. I would go
if I can afford to buy a ticket. So, guys,
I'm right there with you.
I'm about 1,000 hours away from being monetized on this channel. So, guys, do me a favor. Subscribe to Dre Area Sports and just watch my content all night long.
Do it, guys.
Let's go. Come on.
And let's get to 3,000, then I can get monetized.
All right.
That would help out. And then maybe I'll go to a game.
There we go.
I'll be like John Chapman and stream from the tunnel. Hey, guys. He says, CJ says the 07 Giants is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. You're right. Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Before we get into our game predictions, right? I wanted to ask you guys, there's been a lot of big games against the Seattle Seahawks. Of all the games that the Niners have played in recent memory, what is the one game that sticks out the most to you that is the most memorable, win or loss, the most memorable game against Seattle?
Ooh.
That lives rent-free in your head?
Wow.
I think we all have
one. I think it has to be that Crabtree Sherman game, right? Like, I felt like the Niners should have won that game deep down in my heart. And then, that was heartbreaking because I was like, dude, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. We're going to win this game. The Niners played really well early on in that game, and it came down to the end. And, they kept throwing that fade route. Oh, my God, over Sherman. That was horrible. And that one probably hurt me the most, even though that Dre Greenlaw game, I cried after that game. Like, when they made that stop on the goal line, I literally cried that night. I was like, I can't believe it, because I knew. I was like, we're going to Super Bowl. That's it. We're going.
That was huge.
That play right there cemented. I knew deep down in my heart we were going to the Super Bowl. So those were the two biggest ones to me.
I think the 2019 was, to me, the first time in a really long time as a Niner fan, after like a lot of ineptitude after the end of the Harbaugh era, where it was, I couldn't believe we were had a chance to be like a Super Bowl champion that year. It was nice because it had been a while, and I kind of had stopped believing, even with Kyle and John. We weren't seeing the results right away the first 2 years, and so when that 2019 season happened, man, it was nice. It was a very big juxtaposition to the last championship game we were in against them, the one you were just talking about, where it was like the end of something, because we know what happened the following year, all the injuries, people retiring. And that was the genesis of what we're, still a part of, quote unquote, our closed Super Bowl window, which I don't think it was completely closed. It was closed a ton, but it was just nice to see it all kind of happen in 2019.
It's funny because the year that happened, was it 2013? We lost to Seattle. You got to remember, too, the game before that, the Seahawks played the Cowboys at Lumen Field, and that was the game the Cowboys should have won. But Tony Romo botched the field goal snap and then tried to run in and got tackled before the end zone. It should have ended right there. It should have been over. Instead, Evil was allowed to live, and then it just kept going.
Because it was rigged.
And just to show you guys, here it is right here. It's just.
Show me this? I've already seen it.
Do this, Dre. Oh, what a horrible! Why would you test Richard Sherman?
What a horrible route run by freaking Crabtree too.
And it's funny too, because every time he threw the ball and Sherman would pick it off for Kaepernick, I'd always be like, I'd be pissed, like fuck, But then deep down inside, I'm always like, God damn it, Kaepernick! He told you not to throw it over there. Why are you throwing it over there? Like, come on, be smarter than that. But
I was on that Kaepernick bandwagon though.
He was really good. I mean, he was In the Super Bowl, he was throwing absolute lasers, just like, oh my God, this guy's incredible. And I think if he would have had a stable head coach and a stable offensive coordinator, and they didn't fire everybody, and he would have been really good. But once they fired Harbaugh, it was a fucking train wreck.
Harbaugh has a lifespan though. He runs hard and then he burns out. He did that in college. He did that with us. Like, I was sick of him by the fourth season that he was with us.
Yeah,
I was just tired. I was tired of his jackass freaking just. I don't know. His personality got to me. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, rah rah, who's better than us? And then by the end, I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want you here anymore. You don't want to be here anyways. You're totally you've checked out. So I don't know. I felt a certain kind of way with him that like he had a shelf life, but still a really good coach.
Yeah, well, better than what we ended up with Mr. Jim Tom Sula. It was like,
Mr. Poopy Pants farting in press conferences. Yeah.
So for me, I would say that and it sucks too because it's a loss, but that 2013, 9 years ago, actually it's more than that. It's actually
12.
11. Yeah, 12. That loss to Seattle.
13.
And what sucks about that too is that, Navarro Bowman, he had that strip, and then he got hit in the leg, and he landed with the ball. And then they just all piled on him. They're like, Seahawks ball. I was like, what? But then the football gods made that right because later, like 2 plays later, Marshawn Lynch fumbled at the goal line, and Niners got it back. So it was like, okay, well, at least that happened. But we lost Navarro Bowman. A buddy of mine, Drew, he thinks the Niners would have lost that game. If we would have won against Seattle, that we would have lost to the Broncos that year because we didn't have Dre Greenlaw. I want to say Mike Upati wasn't going to play, and
Dre Greenlaw.
I mean Navarro Bowman. Sorry,
I was like, what?
Navarro Bowman wasn't going to play. I still think that they could have won that game against the Broncos.
They completely just punished the Broncos in that Super Bowl.
They really the very first play of the game.
That defense was really good.
Remember the first play of the game when they snapped the ball and it went over Peyton Manning's head? Whoa! And it went into the end zone for a safety. I was like, oh my God. Now you just spotted them 2 points and you're going to give them the ball. I was like, oh my God. And
yeah, now
they never look back. They never look back after that.
Yeah, it was that was a sucky time to be a Niners fan.
But you know what, though? Out of all the cocky fucking asshole fans that are Seattle Seahawks, they fucking got what they deserved when Malcolm Butler picked off Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl to end that game. That was probably one of the happiest moments of my life.
Absolutely.
I watched it with other Niner fans. We cheered so hard. You would have thought we were fucking Patriot fans. We were like, ah! Just to see them lose.
Richard Sherman's face forever captured that.
And then he became a Niner. I was like, oh, I love this guy.
Same. My brother's like, I don't understand how you could hate him and then love him. I'm like, shut up. Don't question my mental health.
That easy.
Okay, so real quick, I mean, when you look at the other teams in the AFC, right? So let's say the Niners run the table and somehow they get to the Super Bowl, right? Because you look at a lot of these teams, they don't have these dynamic defenses. The Texans do. I would say Philly still does. The Rams, it's questionable. They played like shit against Atlanta. And Seattle, right? I feel like everybody else just has a pretty good defense. Look at the Patriots. They don't have a monster defense. Who's their... Denver is the other team. So my fear is this, is that if the Niners do make it into the deep in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, is that when they go against a team that has a good defense, it's going to fuck everything up. And that's kind of what we're doing here against Seattle. We're going against a really good defensive team. We saw when they played against the Colts, when they played against the Rams, again, they should have lost. Their defense kept them in that game. Against the Colts, their defense kept them in the game because it kept, what were they doing? Fucking Myers Lemon, that dude, he kept hitting field goals. And eventually lately it's like the Seahawks win because eventually they're going to keep scoring. Even if it's small amounts and the defense won't let you score. So they sort of choke you out at the end. So it's going to be a big challenge. If San Francisco, if they go out there on Saturday and they put up 41 points or whatnot and they win this game, that's a huge fucking statement. Even if it's a game like the Chicago Bear game was close, that's a statement win. Like, whoa, that was the number 2 defense in the league, or number 3, whatever the fuck they are, and you put up that many points against them. That's huge.
I feel like if you get any pressure on oh my God, his name is escaping me. Sam Darnold. I think the Niners can play better on. I mean, even if they have to manufacture it,
yeah,
he has the propensity to turn into a pumpkin. And
absolutely.
I think Brock's a absolutely head and shoulders a better quarterback than him. On every level. It's just, man, if they can get like I said to you guys, like, we're not asking to, like, save the world here, but like just a marginally better performance on defense, no miscommunications. And I don't know, maybe force one turnover and a couple sacks. That might spot you a 12-point victory. I'll take that.
Absolutely.
But they don't even show up on the field. That's the thing.
This fucking guy, I'm not even gonna say his name. You can read it if you want to. He's a Seahawks fan. Fucking loser. 13 was bailed out so much this day. Kubiak calling the most conservative game ever. I think there's a strong chance that Drew Lock, who's their backup, is the one in victory formation on Saturday. Seahawks want this game more. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Can I talk about the people that are still not buying into the Brock thing? And we know who they are. And like, they're just going to continue to push that trash ass narrative about Brock. I know that one of these people, when Brock threw the pick on Sunday, Saturday, Monday, whenever, Sunday night, made an incredulous, like, smart ass comment, like, what a touchdown throw by Brock. Like, but you're a content creator for the San Francisco 49ers, yet you're smarting ass on your own quarterback because he threw a pick six. Like, I feel like the only way you can ever get those kind of people who are grifters and stuff to stop making content like that, and they probably still won't. Brock would have to have an absolutely killer playoffs and a Super Bowl where they win because of him. Because people are still mad about Trey Lance not being the quarterback of this team. And I watched a live stream the other day, and I'm going to send it to you, Dre, after the show, and maybe I'll send it to you, Mike. Some idiot, and like he's just crapping on Brock Purdy, and he's still talking about Trey Lance in 2025, who's completely irrelevant.
He's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are weird, man.
I don't even think
I was pretty pissed when Brock threw that pick six too. So I
was indifferent because I thought the defense played really well on that play. I thought he jumped the route.
Yeah. And Jennings actually ran a really bad route on that play. Like it was
Jesse the Clown. How did you know who I was?
So,
hey, I'll tell you what. He did a stream the other day. Grant did, and he openly admitted. He said that Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. He said it flat out. I was like, well, there you go.
Hey, and then that's a lot coming from him because he don't bitch. That.
Here you go, Aaron. This is for your brother. The Miami Dolphins are bringing in Troy Aikman as a consultant to help get the organization back to where they need to be at. It's a temporary role, but the Dolphins making moves to be relevant once again.
My brother says that they need a completely reset. He just can't believe that they're going to keep that coach. I feel for him because we've had, say what we want, we've lost, all these things have happened. The Dolphins haven't really been relevant since the 80s.
Yeah.
They were kind of relevant in the 90s, but talk about a person who hasn't seen any success for a team, and he's been a fan, my brother, 30 years. I secretly kind of root for them if the Niners weren't to win a Super Bowl one year, that they would go on a run and win one. So just he can have one in his lifetime. I experienced one. My brother never has. So
see, Aaron, that's why I tell you got to enjoy this ride right now, because you could be a Miami Dolphins fan, right, and not even experience.
That's what my brother keeps telling me. Right? He's like, why are you even worried? He's like, what do you complain? He's like, your team has been, he's like, your team has been relevant for a while now. They're one of the best teams. They have some of the best players, Hall of Fame guys on their team. And I'm like, you're right, Jared. You know what it is with me, man? I want to see a championship, and everything else is just noise for me. I don't know. I don't enjoy it. That is the problem with me, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We will see.
If they go ahead. Sorry,
let's
I'm done.
do score predictions for this Saturday's game. Niners Seahawks. This is a big game. This decides the number 1 seed in the NFC. This might give the Niners the edge to get back to the Super Bowl this season, despite all their injuries, despite their inefficiencies on defense. You get that number 1 seed, you get a bye week, which this team will absolutely take advantage of. I think there's a chance that Fred Warner will try to force his way back in. May or may not happen. But a big game nonetheless. If we lose this game, we drop to number 5 seed and play the winner of the Panthers and Tampa Bay. Still, I think a favorable matchup for us. Tampa Bay is not the same team they were when we played them earlier this season.
Who would host that game?
Wait.
They would. We'd be on the road.
If we lose, we're the 6th seed, right?
No, if we lose, I think if we lose, because the fact that the Rams lost, we can only go as low as the 5th seed. And now, in this case, you'd play the winner of Tampa and Carolina, and you play on the road because they're a division winner, and we are not. So, big stakes in this game.
Mike's like, I don't think so.
You can look it up, and if I'm wrong, correct me. Go right ahead.
If the Rams lose against the Cardinals, we would be the 5th seed if we lose against Seattle.
Then if you get the 6th seed, you'd be going up against
Philly.
Either the Philly or I think there's another team too, but yeah, it'd be against Philadelphia.
Just
and that
Philly,
would
yeah.
be
So
like,
the Rams have to
shit.
lose. Yeah, the Rams have to lose against the Cardinals, which is probably not going to happen.
No, they're going to destroy
Andrew,
Yeah.
that score's way too low, and you know it.
So it's either we play Philly or we get the bye.
Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Mike, we'll start with you. Give us your score prediction for the game, and what is the key factor for the Niners to win this game?
The key factor for the Niners to win this game is Brock Purdy. He cannot turn the ball over. He cannot have a 2-interception game like he had week 1 against Seattle. He cannot have a 1-interception game. I think 1 turnover could be the difference. As long as Brock plays turnover free, you cannot give Seattle an extra possession because the defense is not good enough to keep them from out of the end zone. So I believe Brock Purdy is going to outplay Sam Darnold. That should be a given. Sam Darnold will not. I mean, just his trajectory of play has been going down ever since. This could be a perfect defense for him to get back right, but division games, you throw everything out the window. I think the Niners pull this one off 34-30 in another game that takes 10 years off your life. And Brock Purdy outplayed Sam Darnold, and that's all you need because you know the defense is going to let them score. But as long as Brock Purdy can put up one more point than the other team, that's all that matters.
Here we go. Aaron, what do you got?
Ooh, somebody in the comments says there's no logical reason that he thinks the Niners play a complete game, and I agree with him. Man, another game where the Niners score a lot of points, a little bit less than what they have scored. So I'm going to go 31-27 Niners. I think the Niners, I don't know. They get a couple stops in this game on defense. How, I don't know. Sam Darnold goes full on pumpkin mode in this game, and that gives the Niners a 4-point win. But I still think the Niners defense is just going to get railroaded in this game. There's nothing that has changed, and they still have all the same players that they did last week and the week before that. So at this point in the season, you are what you are. And I think the Niners are going to continue to be who they are on defense. So 31-27 Niners win. Close.
So I agree with everything you guys said. I think the Niners the defense is the wild card. Can they stop any offense? Not just Seahawks offense, but can they stop any offense and keep their team in the game if the Niners cannot move the ball against a good defense, a good opposing defense? If the Seahawks win third down they will win this game.
Mm-hmm.
If the Niners win their third downs, they will win this game. To me, it all comes down to third down. You're going to see a lot of 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8, and that's going to depict who's going to get the advantage in this game. I also agree with Mike that turnovers are a huge issue. Brock has to be very careful with the ball. Giving these guys an interception, it just gives them all the momentum in the world. So I do see Brock throwing at least one interception in this game. Darnold has been pretty poor lately, but I don't see him throwing an interception because we don't get enough pass rush. I think when the Niners get the ball, it's got to be keep the ball as long as possible, sustain long drives, score touchdowns.
Yep.
And if the Niners are going to win this game, I think they win this game at a final score of 34-31. I know Mike said 34-30. I'm going to go 34-31, somewhere right around there. Going to be a close-ass game. But my worst fear is that Seattle is able to stop San Francisco on multiple drives.
Same.
And Seattle is able to score on multiple drives. And to me, I feel like if you fall down 2 scores, this becomes a 3-score game, like a 13-point lead.
You're done.
It may be lights out.
Yeah.
But the Niners offense has looked really, really good. Now, but here's the thing, though, is that, I remember Seattle in the Super Bowl against the Broncos. And everybody, all the analysts were like, Broncos are going to win this game. Their offense is too good. I don't think they could slow down Peyton Manning in this offense. And they did. They completely shut them down. When the Niners played the Chiefs the first time, Niners defense is so good, I don't see how Mahomes can do anything against this defense. And he did. He won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Difference is Sam Darnold is not Patrick Mahomes. So you put a lot of pressure on him to score and he falls behind, he's turnover prone. He's Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. As much as Seahawks fans probably hate hearing me say that, that's what he is. He's Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. And if you eliminate or you take away Jackson Smith and Jigba and you force him to go elsewhere, that's going to make things really hard for him. And I don't think San Francisco will allow the Seahawks to run for big yardage. I think we're going to get a game that we saw against Chicago and against the Colts when we're talking about the run defense. So it's going to be about, can Sam Darnold beat this defense, beat this team? And can Sam Darnold carry this team? Because the Niners, they're all about just fucking stop the run. Stop the fucking run and make Sam Darnold have to beat us. And every game so far, stop the run, make Phillip Rivers have to beat us. Stop the run, let Caleb Williams have to beat us through the air. What does that do? It makes them one-dimensional. And I think that's what they're going to try and do, is make them one-dimensional and put an emphasis on stopping Jackson Smith and Jigba. And we saw against the Rams, what did the Rams do? They shut down JSN for the first half. And then the fucking Seahawks couldn't score.
Yep.
And then in the second half, he started getting all his catches, and they got back in the game. So that's my prediction for the game. It's going to be a big one, dude.
I want to say something real quick. Jay, you and Sterling have been very much like, or at least Sterling was. He was, early on. Remember Sterling saying, "We're not winning the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen." Right? They didn't make a move at the deadline. They don't see themselves as a Super Bowl team. And then we started winning these crazy games, and now we're on the verge of home field advantage. How, in your mind, are you rationalizing what's happening right now? And even Sterling, to an extent, like, are you if we lose, are we never meant to be here? And if we win, I've been kind of downplaying everything all year. So like everything that's happening to me is kind of like a big surprise, because based on what we thought were expectations and, them being cheap and not wanting to, kind of cut money off the books. How are you looking at it?
This is all about coaching. It's about the leadership on this team has got them to this point. If we had a shittier head coach, if we had a coaching staff that didn't know how to lead a team, this team would be the opposite of what we are. We'd be like 11 and we'd be 4-11.
If they win this game, he is coach of the year.
I think so. Because
and he deserves it.
You talk. Everyone's like, "Well, Mike Vrabel," but the Patriots have the weakest fucking schedule in the league. But usually, that's who it goes to is the guy who turned around a franchise.
Yep.
Not a guy who dealt with all of his key players getting hurt and all these injuries and all this shit. Right?
Everybody's been in and out of the lineup all year. If they don't give it to him, then they need to just get rid of that award. Because to me, it's like a premeditated decision. You're like, can we actually let things play out? No, but whatever.
Free speech warrior writes, we would drop the sixth seed if the Rams beat the Cardinals, and they're going to beat the Cardinals. They are, which would mean that we'd be going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. If we got to go into Philly in the wild card round, that's going to be good. I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good game, but that's tough. If you get the bye week, and you get the
Niners
winner,
have to win this game. The Niners have to win this game.
Yeah.
But you know what it feels like?
Buts.
It feels
they
like
have to figure out a way.
But it feels like if the Niners win this game, get the bye week, they're going to end up playing the winner of what, Seattle or the Rams and
the Rams, yeah,
the NFC South. So it's still going to be a tough road unless one of those teams can shock the world and knock out the Rams, which could happen.
Would you feel better them losing as the 1 seed early, or would you feel better them losing early as the 6th seed?
I'd feel better losing as a 1 seed early because at least we got there with a team that shouldn't even have been there.
Okay.
And so it's like, you know what? We weren't even supposed to be this good up with all these injuries, and at least we accomplished that.
Yeah.
Does it hurt your draft status? Yes, but still, I would rather see them have a chance.
Well,
we
have some players that have developed this year that are going to use this year as a freaking stepping stone, and with getting guys back, maybe some free agency moves and another draft. I think the Niners. I think next year could be a decent year too, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
We own the tiebreaker over the Rams. I don't think we do because we split our series against them, but.
Yeah, but
it'll go down to common opponents.
Cardinals. If they're not going to lose against the Cardinals.
They're not going to lose the Cardinals. I mean, it would be crazy if they lost that game. But this is going to depict everything. If the Niners win this game, then I would say there's a big chance they at least get to the Super Bowl based on the way Brock is playing,
I agree.
The way the offense has come together, the way the O-line has come together. Trent Williams will be back by then.
Yep.
And now, despite everything that Sterling said, the Niners not making a move to get a pass rusher has been the biggest mistake of the season.
It has.
If they would have got Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, at least you got somebody else.
My brother was saying the same thing. He's like, how did you guys not make a move?
Something. Just something.
Because to
like
me,
nothing.
They don't make a move. They don't make a move because they thought, you know what? We may not even be in it at the end of the season, so let's stand pat.
That's the confusing part is like, which is it? We're not really going to be much this year. Why waste it on a rental when we're not really going to win it? Now all of a sudden there's a shot we could win it. Now it's like, but then you hear the thing Kyle saying, well, we didn't look at this season as Super Bowl or bust. So we try to stop everybody from kind of feeling that pressure. And John's saying this is a reset year. It's weird, dude. Like
it's weird.
The message they were sending, and now we're supposed to buy in. It's crazy. I don't know. Anyways.
I mean, defense. Everyone will tell you that defense wins championships. You know, not often do you see a team that's offensive heavy make a run and win the Super Bowl. Usually, I mean, the Broncos did, or they got the Super Bowl, but then they got destroyed by a defensive heavy Seattle Seahawks team. Usually, the defensive teams are the ones that get it done. But we'll see what happens. But this is it. They got to win this game if they want a shot to win a Super Bowl this year. And it all comes down to Saturday night. I'll be watching it at my father-in-law's house, big screen TV. I'll be sweating bullets, freaking out. And Huff has turned to a pumpkin too. That's what Andrew says. Well, he's the only one that's a pass rusher, so they're just double teaming him every time. Like, well, the other guys, like Sam O, he's trying.
Huff is a piece in a piece of the puzzle. He's not the guy. He's part.
Yeah.
He's a guy that
third down pass rusher, and he's on the field first, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They're gonna put out the Robert Beal. You know, it's like it's just there's not a lot of options there. Not a lot of options. So we'll see how this game plays out Saturday night. But guys, I want to thank everyone who came out in the chat. I want to thank everyone who's watching at home. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Jerry Area Sports and 49ers First Takes. And make sure you smash the like buttons on whatever stream or whatever platform you're watching it on. Smash the like and subscribe. You know, some people were asking us, like, oh, you guys should have your own channel that's just Cover 3. I'm like, I guess. I don't know. I think it's fine the way it is.
I think it's okay the way that it is.
Yeah. Why? So then when we break up, it'll just be a random ass channel out there floating around that says Cover 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. Guys, Niners, Seahawks this Saturday. It's the game of the year. The Niners need to win this game. And until next time, you guys, good show. Go Seahawks. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Hey.
Bye, Felicia.
We'll see what happens. But guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Go Niners. Fuck the Seahawks.
Let's go.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Peace.